Hey, yo, Neil. Hey, what's up? I got you. Got you. Yeah. R.I.P. Grammy. Free my brother. It's free to his backwards. Look.
All right, welcome to another edition of One Mic Real Sports Guys. Please go to realsportsguys.com or Real Sports Guys on all your social media platforms and catch us. We're the little engine that could. We're the underground. You might see a plate, a bowl, some food. People, people come from jobs. We just jumping on. We don't have everybody working for. We don't come into a studio. This is just what we love to do. We get together on here and share what's going on and talk about what's happening in sports life and our perspective. And so we're glad to have you. Before I get started, let me bring in my co-hosts, my brethren, to see how they're doing. What's up, Hammer? You I don't know what you was eating over there before the show, but you was having fun. That food was good.
Yeah, my lady had some spaghetti. Always good.
All
Always
right,
great meal.
all right. Now I know where you live. I'm about to come over there and get me some spaghetti. So I'm about to check that
Yeah,
out. And
yeah.
there's my man, the family man, my family, Darnell Kirkland Jr. How you doing, brother?
Man, not good. I'm
Mm,
upset.
mm.
I sat up here and watched Jalen Carter play for the Eagles, and just knowing he should have been a Detroit Lion. Man, I'm telling you, that kid is the truth.
Well, we talked about it.
He
Everybody
had
what
a
to say.
great
I was like,
season.
look, man, y'all got to ignore all the other stuff. So I said it. We got it on tape. I said, this guy is the top player. We all had these excuses. And I'm like, I mean, yes, he's some stuff he had to get right. And he seemed to have gotten it right. But it was no question about what that kid could do on the field
No,
of
he
play.
pulled a Charles Barkley, no doubt about it. He takes his draft stock intentionally.
Man, and I was down yesterday, and them Jets, and we'll talk about them Jets, gave me 30 fantasy points. I pulled it out. It was personal. It was personal. I'm with Prime. It was personal. I had all these preseason prognosticators on Yahoo and all these other talking about my draft pick, only to find out I went undefeated throughout the weekend. I did my thing. Hammer, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I had to do it to you, but
Yeah,
it
one
ain't.
game, man.
It
One
was
game.
personal.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be in the one game, the last game, winning it. That's the bottom line. This game doesn't mean anything. That's like Magic
Uh,
Johnson celebrating his first game.
all right. My name is Devon Wilson. I am hosting on here with y'all, ready to roll. And we got a lot to get into as we get into. Yeah, it's personal. Dion, I think Dion's going to be a running rundown for us. So let's just start with that. I love his pregame talk, and I felt the same way. I think he was speaking to me as I was beginning my fantasy season. But there's these moments that you got to react to stuff, and it was definitely personal in his response, in his team's response to Nebraska this weekend. But they put together another solid performance. It was some battles here and there, but they pulled away. Darnell, what'd you see? In this next kind of evolution of Colorado football and Prime and Sador, who is just demonstrating that he's battle tested. What would you learn this past weekend?
Nothing much, man. It's the same. I think I saw more of the same. Like Shador, he's an accurate quarterback. He reminds me a lot of Teddy Bridgewater, to be honest with you. The way he kind of controls the offer. He doesn't have the biggest, strongest arm, but he makes really good decisions, and he's accurate with the ball. Travis Hunter, he's a dude. Um, you got Jimmy Horn back there, Dylan Edwards. Like they got a lot of talented guys, talented skill players. They still got some work to do in the trenches, but they got some talented skill players. And like you said, it was personal,
Yes.
and that's what I saw on Saturday.
Yeah, these cats got to realize that Prime is like an elevator. He gonna remember what you said. And Matt Rule, for people who don't know, I guess when he took on the Nebraska job and was trying to describe what kind of program they're going to have, it was clear he was taking shots. He was kind of like Suge Knight. If you want a person, if you don't want somebody who want to be all up in the videos, if you want to do all this, he was like, come to Death Row, come to Nebraska. He was kind of like,
Yeah, you sure you wasn't talking about Brian Kelly?
he could have been talking about Brian Kelly too.
That's
He could have been talking about Brian Kelly. But how Prime is. Prime will take whatever thing look like. He gonna make it work for himself. But But what did you see, Hammer, in terms of Prime said was personal and his players responded? What'd you think?
I saw why Matt Rule got fired by the Carolina Panthers. He can't coach. That's what I saw. No, seriously. What I saw was, Colorado looks good. I mean, the only problem with them, like Darnell says, is the line play. Not enough pressure, on the line as far as edge and really giving up line edge pressure. That's the only weakness of their game as far as Shador running around. So, but yeah, they dominated Nebraska. The brother Sims, not ready for prime time. Travis Hunter, shout out to him playing both ways. And yeah, I just think again, Colorado, looked dominant, but they played an overrated TCU team without Max Duggan, and I think also a pretty bad team in Nebraska. I guess Nader as far as his history right now. So I would say basically that Crime's 2 games. I mean, I watched the game. I really watched that much college football except for the Badgers, so it tells you. But it was a really good game. Gus and Joel Klatt cut up, except for the thing that Joel Klatt said that was unfortunate. But that's the thing that really I saw was that Deion again has these kids motivated. He's getting them ready for the Big 12. They never were a Pac-12 team, but that was always a weird fit. And so the Big 12 is where they are, and that's where we're going to go. And Nebraska, got slaughtered. So yeah, and shout out to Prime. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's no different than the other teams. I think it's funny how folks get judged. College football is not a lot. It's not preseason. There's a lot of things you learn up front. He had a lot of new players. We had a feeling that the line takes a little bit longer to do because you need, Darnell coaches off the line to get the continuity, to get some things but when you can teach and learn and still win, there's an art to that. And Nebraska got some solid stuff. They just have not figured out the quarterback play. They don't have a good quarterback, but they like to have some decent players on defense. They got some pieces there. They ain't ready themselves. It's funny that we don't judge Matt Rule the same way we judge Prime, but that's okay. But they beat them like they're supposed to beat them. It wasn't like it was a close game. They beat them like who they were, and I give you credit for doing that in that sense. And so we talked about before, like the line is going to be something they got to develop, but they got a lot of pieces in there. You can see they're learning each week. So there's some good coaching going on the ground, and they got the right schedule to start growing up into that, right? And that's what you're looking for. They had a competitive thing. Nebraska gave them something different. They're going to be physical up front. They struggled at times early on with some of that stuff. They're able to right the ship a little bit throughout the game. So you learn and getting better throughout the game, and then you go on to the next challenge that'll present something else as you grow, as you get ready, to face, USC, who's going to be potent offensively, but they got some of their own challenges. Some of these other teams got some of their own challenges as well. And you'll see where you're at on that. So I like their trajectory. Yeah, they're going to have some slips. I predict them to get like 9 wins, which means they're going to have some losses. They ain't running the table, but they're not going to be the team I think everybody thinks. And again, I think folks got to start turning the volume down with Deion. Don't listen to the stuff. Look at what they're doing. They work hard. Them kids work hard. They work on the right things. They got a lot of fundamental sound things they're working on, they building on. They got good coaching going on there. For you to do what they did, you turn over the roster and still be able to perform in these first 2 games, TCU's not going to have a terrible season. They'll probably end up with 9 wins. So, the story will tell itself again later on, but they're getting the right coaching,
They're probably the best coaching staff in the country. That's
but just like coaching staff, Darnell knows it's coming in. Like you can bring coaching staffs are also a lot like trying to put together an all-star team. Don't mean it's going to work. Everybody got egos, right? Mm-hmm. So like just because you bring who you perceive to be some of the best coaches, the continuity of coaches working is as difficult as bringing players together. All these coaches got egos. They got ways to go. You got to get them to buy in. So it's not even as easy as just putting coaches in the same room with each other. You got to be able to get them to go in the right direction. They got to be on the same page. So there's, that's not, putting a good coaching staff together is important because they require communication as well. And there's a lot of assumptions about that. Like, managing coaching egos is sometimes harder than managing the players. And so, but have them all going in the right direction. That's leadership. So, he's gonna have his bumps in the road. I'm assured that that's gonna happen. So we'll keep watching, but it's personal. Y'all keep making it personal. He's gonna keep showing up. yeah, I know that from my own experience. As a GM for up and coming fantasy football team. People trying to judge me. We definitely gonna make it. We gonna make it
One
public.
game, bro. One game, man.
Hey, I just y'all want to clown me. Then everybody
I
tried to
didn't
clown me,
know.
Darn, didn't
I
they?
said I didn't want to
Then
clown you.
they
I
had a
didn't know,
bad
bro.
grade
To
and
be
clown
honest,
me, didn't they?
Hey,
yeah.
They was clowning me,
hey,
wasn't
we're
they?
Clown
one
you.
and
Well,
zero.
the AI is a
Y'all
mess,
was clowning
man.
me,
AI
huh?
is a mess.
Hey,
That's why.
we're one and zero.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, look at
I'm one and zero.
come on. Anybody who had J.K. Diamonds like me or Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you asked
You
out.
said we're 1-0, huh?
Yeah, I'm 1-0
Now,
one
no,
league.
no, that like he said we're 1-0. Now,
Yeah,
one of
1-0
the
one
things
league.
I want to talk about, that I think Hammer, you might have shared this, is about
Mm-hmm.
Jim Trouter,
Oh yeah, Jim
for the
Trotter, yeah,
NFL. Yeah, former reporter for
Yeah, that was
NFL
me that
Network,
shared that.
and ESPN, yeah,
ESPN.
yeah.
But in the report that came out, he shared some of the things that have been said that was reported by some of the owners.
Yeah.
The owners of the bill saying if black players don't like it here, they should go back to Africa and see how bad it is. In reference to players
He
protesting
was
against,
great in Africa.
yeah,
He was great in Africa. We weren't getting lynched, and we're up
I
both.
mean, and then the Jerry Jones one. Jerry keep coming up. Jerry's showing up in historical videos, right? He's showing
Yeah,
up in
yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
With,
Jerry keep coming
Arkansas,
up.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
If blacks feel some kind of way, they should buy their own team and hire who they want to hire regarding the lack of black professionals in decision making positions on the NFL team. Well, if y'all stop blocking some of the cats who want to buy teams, Jerry, like we would have some black owners. We've had folks. Oprah trying to come with a group. Everybody trying to come with a group. Y'all find a way to bounce them off. So you want to say that one side, but every time we have an opportunity to get black ownership, more black ownership, you probably part of one of the groups block it. Because if you want it to happen, it would happen. But he is. I think this thing is going to get ugly. Hammer, I know you as our legal analyst and consultant. Shout
Well,
out
I
to
don't think
the
they get ugly.
Law School.
I think the shot across the bow happened. This was leaked out because they want to get a settlement. I don't think the NFL is playing with fire, and then also probably know Jim Trotter was downsides because of economic reasons, but people know he was very critical about NFL's diversity and equity inclusion initiatives, and so he's a very esteemed reporter. It's sad when I saw him. I follow him on Twitter. Sad to see him when he got let go. I'm glad he got with the Athletic. I didn't know that, so that's great. Athletic's a tremendous up and coming with him and Diane Rossini, the guy from ESPN. But the bottom line is that brother needs to get paid and get an equitable solution for this. He was smeared because he basically called out Goodell, and they have people like Brian Flores and
But rightfully so. The data doesn't lie.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing about it. He's saying it's lying.
That
So
doesn't
I
lie.
mean,
That doesn't lie.
Goodell can get out. He can get emotional about it, but it's all true.
No, it's not emotional. I mean, again, we know that there's sadly there's still white supremacist edge to the NFL. There's not an owner of color, right, except for Shahid Khan, right? So, I mean, that's the bottom line is that you have they have the Rooney Rule, which they bastardized basically. They try to do these other rules to give people draft picks to hire GMs, but it hasn't worked. You still have black players and white owners and white coaches, and so it's a sad commentary, but the bottom line is that with Jim Trotter, he's going to expose. Pagula's already denied it, but he's not under oath, as we say as lawyers. I want to see him under oath say that.
Oh yeah,
he might have something different.
They'll get him under oath.
But but the bottom line is that I hope Trotter gets what he deserves. And like I said, I'm glad he landed that leg. I was worried about the brother was unemployed. So I didn't really hear where he landed after he.
And he's a serious journalist, so he's one of those things where he gonna keep receipts. Like this is not a cat. I would think he gonna have receipts. So he ain't putting nothing out of here if he can't verify. He gonna have some receipts. Darnell, I want to bring you in if there's anything you want to add to the conversation.
About
Trotter,
Trotter, or just the remarks you think that allegedly said, which I think,
There's probably something to that. I mean,
something said that.
It's not surprising that came up, especially with Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
We might look around and see him in some of our textbooks a few years down the line. But
I feel it.
But man,
just because Yeah, just because you let Stephen A. on your helicopter don't mean anything. So we're gonna keep the feet to the fire, because this stuff is also personal for us too. So we gonna make sure we look at it. Texas did Bama in. I got to bring you in, Darnell. I mean, and Texas recruitment is picking up as a result of this. Like Texas,
It's been
I,
up.
huh?
Texas has
It's
been up.
been
Yeah,
up. I know it's been up, but it has not. It hasn't paid dividends like it's paying right now. Texas has always been it, but they just for some reason they just haven't paid dividends. It looks like it's paying dividends now.
But they got the right, like you said, they got the right staff. They got the right, you know what I'm saying, the right pieces in place. They got Sark in there. They got my guy Kyle Flood in there working with the O line.
Mhm.
Their D line was nice. You know, you see they're like the thing about Texas now. They're strong in the trenches. You can see that they got some big boys in there, and they know how to play. And that's been a big focus of recruiting. Like, cause remember when NIL first came into play, one of the first big major deals was that Texas was going to get an NIL deal for the entire offensive line, and that's just paying. You can see it on the field. That's one thing. That's one thing I can see with that Texas program.
When you look at Bama, I mean, obviously, they have to solve quarterback play, but it was probably more to that in that game. What were your thoughts about Bama and where they're at?
And Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can really say. Like Jalen Milroe reminds me of Justin Fields when he was at Georgia, and Justin Fields that you see now. I mean, how good is Ryan Day
Please don't say
that
that.
to get Justin Fields to read 1, 2, 3, you know what I'm saying, go through his progressions, look like the pocket passer he looked. I'm sorry. I didn't want to turn this into a Justin Fields thing, but
That's all right.
Jalen
That
Milroe,
sucks, but that's okay. But that's
And we're
Jalen
gonna talk about
Milroe,
Justin Fields anyway. So
yeah.
Jalen Milroe,
I'm gonna get my jersey away. Shoot.
Jalen
Burn it on the
Milroe.
internet. Shoot.
He's back there seeing ghosts seeing ghosts like David Carr. Every time he feel like he got a clock in his head, 1,000 run,
Yeah.
1,000 2,000 run.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to play him at quarterback, wouldn't you at least think to play him like a running quarterback? Like they're having him drop back, throw the ball. I feel like they should do a lot more quarterback run, quarterback option type of stuff, and utilize Jalen Milroe's strengths. If I'm Alabama, that's what I do because he is if he is something, he is definitely athletic. I mean, he's probably one of the that they say he's top 5, top 3 fastest players on the team, and you can see it on that one run where he juked the safety out in the hole. Man, no, that dude is an athlete, but you got to use him as an athlete. But the way they're doing it right now, it's not going to work. But the thing is, their defense looked good. Like the defense looked good. Their pieces on the offense are like Jason McClellan. He's a ball player. I saw some promising things in there. It's just that you got some young offensive linemen that are promising. Like Tyler Booker, he's gonna be good. He's a sophomore. The big freshman they had, I forgot his name, but he was the number 1 tackle in the country. I don't know why I forgot his name, but if I had it up, I wish I had it up. But he's gonna be good too. He started at left tackle as a true freshman, and that's a tall order, especially going against a Power 5, high Power 5 team like Texas. And he's going up against a steep learning curve. But when it all gels together, I think they'll have something. It's just that I don't know.
The offensive coordinator Tommy Reese looked like he was
He looked
Bismol.
totally lost.
He was taking
Man.
all kinds of stuff.
Tommy Reese.
Looks terrible.
I don't know. I feel like they have an identity crisis. Like the thing is, Nick Saban wants to go back to the old Alabama, and Tommy Reese is an indication of that. But you can't do the old Alabama thing with Jalen Milroe. Like if you're doing Jalen Milroe, you got to go. You can't just go to Nick Saban's old Alabama. You got to go to Bear Bryant. You got to go to Barry Switzer. You know what I'm saying? You got to Billy Sims. You got to go Wishbone. You know what I'm saying? You got to do some wing T stuff.
They're gonna be running the waggle. They're gonna be running the waggle.
Yeah. They're gonna
The
be running
Waggles
belly
game.
with the quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. Belly right.
Yeah.
Hammer. Is Saban losing his grip? What's happening with
Yeah,
him?
I think Saban's losing his grip. I mean, I've never. This is probably the least inspiring Alabama team I've seen since he probably came on this back to the college football after his little debacle in Miami. So yeah, I mean the Milroe kid, you can tell he's talented, but like Darnell says, the way Tommy Rees was drawing up the scheme, it wasn't in his mind. It was really in mind for Tyler Buchner, who I thought would be the quarterback, but he obviously got beat out. So he left Notre Dame for a reason. Now he got beat out there. So so yeah, I just think that Bama gets some young, good, always get great talent, but it just seems like they just as a team, it just wasn't any juice there. And that's the thing that I've never seen an Alabama team where just nobody had like that juice, that thing. You always had a kid.
Do you think? I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think Saban has something on deciding who started? Because as you said, you got a Notre Dame transfer, probably with someone Reese might be comfortable with doing some stuff with, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a connection there. Like I would probably feel comfortable with that, and it feels like this has Saban's imprint on it.
Yeah, I think it does, but obviously the plan failed because Milroe beat out Buchner so badly that
was it badly? Or was it never?
I think people said it was a open. It was it was a close competition, whatever. But I just don't believe that because I think why didn't they go to Buchner during the game? They didn't. They should have gone to Buchner and tried to come back. They didn't. So they stayed with Jalen Milroe, and I don't believe that. I just think that they wanted to make a close competition because I think he wanted Buchner, and Buchner clearly got beat out totally. Because it makes sense from Tommy's scheme that Buchner would be the quarterback, and obviously he's going to sit. I mean, why transfer? He's going to sit. He's going to sit in Notre Dame behind Hartman. He's sitting behind Milroe. Come on, he transferred the reason, but he was so bad that probably Saban thought he'd lose the team if he started the guy. That's saying something about Buchner. So he obviously was outclassed.
Yeah, they need to make a trade. Alabama needs to make a trade, right? They need to trade Jalen Milroe for Kyle McCord. They need to go call Ryan Day and say, that's a 1-for-1 trade that'll work for both of them. Kyle McCord can run his pro-style stuff that he want to do. And then Ryan Day can fix Jalen Milroe and turn him into Justin Fields.
That sounds like a move to me. All right. We're gonna get into the cipher. Down goes Aaron. He's out. My goodness. When I saw that, I was like, I was like, why is he sitting down? It was like it just was strange, and then he was out.
He's standing up. That's why he's sitting down.
But he was standing up for a minute, and then it looked like
I knew it when I first saw it.
Yeah,
people said football. They knew exactly that it was
yeah. I knew it. Yeah. Well, yeah. When somebody just doesn't get up, it's a bad sign. Yeah. He just sat there because. The thing is, like, everybody was like, we were waiting on the MRI. I was like, if you tore your Achilles, you tore your Achilles. So you know what happened because when you tear your Achilles, the Achilles tendon, it goes from your heel to your calf, and when you tear it, that tendon, the rubber band, it rolls up into your calf. You can feel it happening. So there was no mystery what happened.
No, I mean,
and it was like the air went out. They were juggling. Then Zach had to come in and do his thing. He struggled early on, seemed to battle back a little bit. We'll start with the Jets side. Is number 2 the answer? Do they have a way? If he is the answer, how do they need to play? Darn, I'll go with you, then come back to Hammer.
No, he's not the answer.
I mean, we saw something in Hard Knocks. He looked like he could do something. I'm not that down on him.
That's practice, man. Like you said, that's practice.
Okay, go ahead.
Not the game.
The real move is
they're trying to Chad Henne right now. Your Michigan guy, Chad Henne. That's
you bring a veteran in. I don't know about Chad Henne.
He knows Hackett. They think that's the answer, man.
I'll bring a veteran in.
I get Jameis. Go ahead, sir.
We say?
Is Jameis still out there?
Yeah, he's well, no, he's with New Orleans. We give him a 4th round, 5th round.
Yeah, but interception, Jameis. I mean,
I bring
better
a
than
better
Zach. Shoot, at least he had a lot of interceptions. He had a lot of touchdown passes too. Remember that? He had 30 touchdown passes that year.
I know that. I was a Jameis fan.
He's on the field for a reason.
I don't know if he's a right for this. So you think Jameis?
I think a Matt Ryan might be able to.
He's not leaving the boat.
Matt wasn't good. I ain't going for Matt, man. Matt didn't show nothing in Indianapolis. Nothing more than the kids show. I mean,
teach him a thing or two.
I'm a ride the youngin. You got to have to do it like Sanchez. Sanchez. You got to ride the youngin. I think they're going to have to do it. If they can get Jameis, that's an option. Brady not going to be an option. I mean, I don't think any option. I think is worse than what you got. It'll make everybody feel good.
Than Zach, yeah.
I mean, Zach's got the most upside, athleticism, everything else out of all of them. If you get Jameis, I think Jameis
any day he's going to hurt you.
Huh?
Because they defense, I said, at the end of the day, is he going to hurt you? Because their defense is at a point where they just need somebody that's going to make sure they end every drive. I say it all the time. The goal is to end every drive with a kick.
Yeah,
and what I mean by that is either an extra point, a field goal, or a punt.
And they got Greg the Leg. They got Greg the Leg, so he's a good kicker. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and I think after he got through the first rough spots, I mean the second half he did basically what you said, right? Yeah, I think there's some things he might have learned. I just don't see a better option unless you get Jameis. I don't like the Stafford stuff because you're giving up too much for that, and I don't know what you're getting. I mean, they're in a tough place, man. Go get Kaepernick.
They got cap room because Rodgers smartly, asked or pared down his salary, so they probably get somebody. But it sees who's out in the quarterback market too. But yeah, the thing about it is well, I'm reading, like I said, I think they're going with Wilson. Wilson's a guy, I believe that. I think they got Hackett there for a reason. I think Hackett's going to be a quarterback whisperer. But he didn't whisper that much with Russell last year. But yeah. But no, but he did look good in the second half. I'll give him that.
I want to talk about the Jet. I didn't know it was a Jet, Josh Allen. What is up with Josh? Like I told you, I put on I don't know if we call it a tweet, what we call it now, and all this new stuff. But I was like, the Jets defense looked at him like he with us. He with us. Hammer, what's going on, man?
You saw his frustration after the game, talking about the same old stuff. I mean, I think that a new quarterback guy in the room. I mean, Dable obviously left, but Ted Dorsey's really been an abysmal failure. He's on the hot seat, obviously, and so it needs to do something like Baltimore did, get an OC change, because it just seems like Josh is not making the right decisions, and he needs something fresh. And also he's out there. Exposing himself too. He's still running like crazy. He's eventually get knocked out, I think. So I just think that basically that Josh seems to be. I mean, he's an interception, a turnover machine, like Kevin Person said. So there has to be a better way. He's got to make better decisions than he did. He looks like he's regressed to like his almost his rookie year as far as decision making goes, and that's pretty bad to say that.
And part of it is I think they don't commit enough to the run.
That's true. They are the top of the run. I mean, James Cook is not a dog. He's a good back, but he's not. He's a RB3 like in real football.
He looked good. They just went away from him.
He's not. They
just went away from it. Darnell,
Jonathan Taylor, or Derrick Henry's now available. They need to get someone like him.
Yeah, what are you saying in Buffalo, man? I just you can't fall off that quick.
No, he's a gunslinger.
Yeah,
he's gonna have his ups and downs, and I disagree about
too many downs.
Offensive coordinator, new voice. I don't think we need a new voice because he's Brett Favre. He's Roy Jones. You can't bring a conventional type of guy and teach Roy Jones. All right, you got to keep your hands up like this. Throw a jab. No, man. If he's a gunslinger, that's the way.
No, but he's making dumb decisions, though. I mean, his rookie year, he made better decisions than this. I mean, he ran too much the rookie year, but he's trying to throw everything now. It's getting ridiculous.
Hey, it's one game, man.
It's one game, but it's a damning game, though, because like D. Will said, they don't have the good running back depth with Pierce and.
Also, you got to know who they're going against. the Jets are
I mean, just
the Jets are going to be one of the best defenses in the league. I mean,
yeah, they are.
he gonna have his bad games, and this is one of the bad games. I think.
He's had a lot of bad games at the wrong
I think
times.
he'll bounce back. But like Devon said, they do need a better running game. We've been saying that for years.
Yeah, I don't think they're committed to the run like they did, but I don't. Again, they're not putting the personnel for the run, so they let Singletary go. I just don't understand what they're
you
doing.
got the backs. I think it's how you go about it. You got two seem like decent tight ends, can block a little bit.
Kincaid can play. Yeah,
you got some. They had some decent runs. It was just like it wasn't a rhythm. It wasn't like it was like you didn't see the strategy and the complement in the way to go. I mean, when Cook got loose, he got loose. But it didn't seem like there was any. You couldn't see how the plan was playing out. You can see
like
the
they say,
strategy.
they run the pass, they don't pass the run. That's their problem.
Yeah,
they run the pass, not pass the run, and that's just a bad philosophy. I think that eventually you have to have a solid run game because you want to control the clock. If you have a bad run game, you're letting your opponent. You're giving them again an extra step, but also you're giving them extra win because they're not on the field as much. I mean, the key thing.
But that's not what the analytics guys say.
What do they say?
That's not what the analytics guys say.
Analytics guys get you fired.
They say there's no such thing as establishing the run. They say running backs don't matter. They say all that kind of. But hey, I feel like they got a program that buys into that type of stuff.
No, running backs matter, but they don't matter as much. They're not. They matter in a platoon situation. They don't matter as far as a top dog. You don't have that anymore. I mean, you don't have that anymore because a top dog.
It's funny, but all that data is built on the fact you actually have more running backs that create a larger sample in the sense that gives you a different end in a lot of different ways. So like the differences in those years, it's interesting if you dig inside the data a little bit more. It's like, I don't think there's much difference when people think about even the years they look at. It's not as many tight ends, right? It's just like, so I think we got to do a little more scrutiny. The bottom line is you got to figure out how to keep people honest. However you want to talk about that. You can come up with whatever combination it is. But if you don't keep people honest, you're going to be in trouble in the league. Yeah. If you can't do both well, you're going to be in trouble. You got to keep people off balance, especially when you're facing a team like the Jets. And there's a couple teams like the Jets out there who are rough riders. And so I think we buy too much in. The analytic people will get you where you want. You know what they're going to get you? Sitting with us. If you can't, and when people forget about statistics, that's why I still got to do one of my ultimate shows. I got to bring my man, bring Doc Williams on, Damon on, because we want to have this conversation. One of the things that people forget about data analysis is that there's a qualitative element to it. We get so caught up with the big data and like all these nerds have, because none of them can play. So they don't want to get into that other stuff because they wouldn't know about that. But there is a qualitative aspect of it. Even when you look at statistics, everybody talks about there's a lot of noise. You know what that noise is? That's the qualitative stuff. That's the qualitative stuff. That's the qualitative data. That's the context stuff, right? But they explain it away in some weird thing. And those kind of people will get you sitting with me. If you keep listening to them, if you don't use your ingenuity, if you don't use, the sound of the bat matters and the data matters. All that matters are you people who get back and want to watch Moneyball and all that stuff. Sound of the bat matters too. There's something you learn about that, as well as context matters, as well as the other stuff. So we'll pay attention to that. But watch, they keep playing them that money, like Darnell said, they're gonna be with a new offensive coordinator, new head coach, new GM. Watch. In 3 years. Y'all keep playing it like that. It ain't working. Whatever they doing ain't working. They better figure something out. Because everybody catching up to them. Right now, they might be the third best team over there. If Rodgers had got hurt, that's probably what it would be. They might be the third best team over there. That's the problem if I'm over there. I wouldn't do it. But let's get to the real story. Just when the Bears fans thought they had a reprieve, just when they had it, Jordan showed up. But Justin didn't. Hammer, that's why I didn't go to you as much early on because I wanted to give you space. So this is back in the old days when I was with, we had Phil T and Game Changer. This is where we say, we're going to play off the ball. Me and Darnell are going to be off the ball. You're going to be in ISO. Because I know you need some time. This could be a therapy session. But, man,
it's not. I just full disclosure. I was at my girlfriend's brother's house, watched the game. I had Packer gear on. I was part of the family. So yeah, I thought we lose.
That?
We get whooped. I thought we lose. I thought we get whooped.
Darnell,
We look terrible.
How can you start a relationship with your girl's family on false? You're from Chicago. How are you wearing Green Bay gear? Y'all got to establish that.
I'm part of the family. I don't want to be outcast the family, man. That's the bottom line.
You are set up on some false pretenses. That's not a good structure to set up on. Darnell, weigh in, please. He going to. You can't do that when they know you from Chicago. You a Bears fan.
I'm Chicago. I'm a Bears fan. But, I'm in their house. Yeah, so it's not. I mean, again, I'm not gonna be contrary. I'm gonna be. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Packers like some Bears team. Again, we don't have a rivalry with the Packers. The rivalry is with the Vikings. It's not us. The rivalry's been over since like 2000. So and Justin looked just terrible. I mean, he looked awful. He was looking third, 4 reads, couldn't find anybody open. The defense looked terrible. Darnell Wright looked like it's decent, but Nate Davis was bad. It just was a debacle, man. I could not believe I was seeing where the team has regressed from last year. That's saying something. We have regressed. I mean, we have regressed, man.
Y'all had all that money. Didn't I tell y'all? Y'all had all that money all season. We were talking about free agency.
We did. Well, I think, brother man,
I mean, and your GM is
he
on the clock?
I didn't like the fact. I mean, we should have gotten Van Ness or McDonald as our draft pick. I didn't like the right pick. I just we should have gotten McClinchy as a solid right tackle. Considering the fact that we don't need 2 young tackles. I mean that's a recipe for disaster, man. And it just Velus Jones. He's inactive. It's just he's made a lot of bad decisions, man. And so the Claypool trade has been an absolute disaster.
Good job.
I mean, you have people literally mocking you nationally about how you play.
He was the worst part.
Oh, he's the worst player in the Bears. Yeah, he has no effort at all. He's something. I
was going to say that he refuses to block.
Oh yeah.
I saw this little highlight reel of him just walking.
I saw it too.
Pretending to block people. I'm like, oh
yeah. No, he's low. I think he wants to model, and that's why he was in Paris over, and he doesn't want. He also, I don't know. You all watch football, but does he look thinner to you? He looks thinner to me. He does not look as big as he was his first 2 years in the NFL. He looks thinner. I think he's getting ready for a modeling career. He's giving up on football, and he's a pretty boy. He wants to, it's just, and he has no desire to play football. I mean, he got open 2 times, 2 targets. I mean, just it was a sad thing to watch. It was good in the fact that I didn't have my Bears stuff. It would hurt even more because I was like a damn fool with the stuff on. But yeah, it was sad, man. Roschon Johnson looked good, but they didn't use him enough. I mean, the guy was running well, and yet guess didn't use him enough. They went back to form.
But I think the problem is when people get caught up in these analytics, man. And when you get rid of a middle linebacker who's a culture guy, like you can't get rid of culture guys. Like your number. He's a culture guy. He went right to the Ravens.
There's a guy that left the team for personal reasons for like 3 games and stretching that. Roquan is a good player.
But he's a culture guy. Like I can't believe in what they say with what they produced. I've had red flags on them from the
I'd rather have Tremaine Edmonds than Roquan. I think he's got more upside.
You hope the coach to get right.
Definitely.
Y'all better get right quick.
Well, I don't even get right. I didn't want to go 0-17. I don't get right quick because I just think I don't trust Ryan Poles. I don't trust Ryan Poles' judgment.
What are you paying that's different?
What is it now?
What are y'all paying? What are you paying Tremaine? That's different.
We're paying him a lot of money. Tremaine wasn't bad. I mean, but I think Tremaine is as good as the line. The line's bad.
When cats see you treat
Darnell's coach knows this. If your front line, if your D line is bad, that hurts all other players, right? The cornerbacks, the big linebackers. Yeah. So again, he did not get. He went and got Ngakoue. That's the sad thing that only person got a sack on Sunday was a guy who was in camp for 2 months. Come on now. Barely knew his system.
That's your player now?
That's embarrassing, man.
All right. Darnell, talk to me about Jordan. I mean, the Packers are Packers going 3 for 3 on this? They don't went Favre. They don't went over here and got Aaron, and now you got Jordan. What we doing over there?
I'm gonna hit you with the Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend.
You playing the Bears. Everybody look good against the Bears, man. You playing the Bears.
Not so
You playing the
fast.
Bears. Everybody look good against the Bears.
You gotta realize the strength of schedule, the opposition. Like, I got to see this against the Lions. No, I'm not saying this, but what I'm saying, I got to see this against better teams. I got to see I got to see him be more consistent.
He played ATL. That's gonna be a good test. ATL, he played ATL this week. In ATL, that's a test.
I mean, I liked what I saw from him, given the expectations. But hey, I want to see him be more consistent before I can pass judgment on that.
All right. Well, we'll keep it up.
I think again, Jordan Love will be good. I don't think he's great.
All right. We're gonna have the Justin watch, so we're gonna check in each week on Justin and that whole Bears GM regime and that player and all this to see how stuff play out. But the Cowboys put it on the Giants. I don't know if it's the Cowboys being that good or the Giants being the Giants who we thought they were when they tried to give your boy his money, and we all knew the quarterback shouldn't have got his money. They just gave it to the running back. Well, we all reading his analytics and all this other stuff. Mess up the locker room. You don't get beat 40-0. 40-0. Darnell, what'd you like about what you saw with them Cowboys and that work and those Giants, man? That game was woo. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it.
I didn't, but it's both.
You said it's both?
Yep, the Cowboys, man, especially on the defensive end. On the defensive end, they're forced to be reckoned with.
It was like Rocky IV over there, man. It was like Rocky IV, dog. It was like they stood over your boy like, if he dies, he dies. That's how he was standing over him, man. He said, if he dies, he dies. They came out like living in America. They had all the pop. They had all that stuff going on. They had all the pop and circumstance going. It was a great day. With all that stuff. The Giants was playing, and then bam! It was like they came in like if he dies, he dies. Okay, sorry about that. You said it's a little bit of both, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
They like the defense. They added Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
And
amazing, man. He looked
great. And he's a little bit he's a little long in the tooth, but he can still play. He's very fundamentally sound. They got Mozzie Smith in there. Michael Parsons is a defensive player of the year candidate. He was showing out. Still got Trayvon Diggs. They got Lawrence, DeMarcus Lawrence in there.
Van Der Esch.
They got a lot of talent.
All levels.
So yeah, they got a lot of talent in there. And on the offensive end, you still got that. Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys are for real.
And CeeDee look like he's running them routes the right way now. He used to turn them routes a little crazy. Now his routes look a little tight.
I don't remember what my exact picks were, but I think I definitely had the Cowboys being one of the top teams in my picks. I forgot.
Yeah, Hammer. When you look at, man, I don't even know how to explain that. It was just a beat down, man. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean it showed the reports were true. I mean, they looked like they were sobering up during the game. That's what happened. Because Brian Daboll had a party beforehand. I mean, you have a party Saturday before the game. Come on, man, a big party. I just but getting back to the Giants, they just look inept on every facet of the game, and it just Daboll, I question his judgment, man. And
I didn't even really. I've been off the man. I've been working.
They had a big party at Daboll's house on Saturday.
Why would they do that?
Because they stupid, obviously. They're stupid.
Hey, we want to get on my boy. Our previous receiver for having the boat. He did
the Love Boat. No, the Love Boat. It just, man, they look like. I mean, that spoke volumes. When I read that report, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They look like they just didn't show up. I mean, they got obliterated at home. I mean, you thought the game was in Dallas.
Yeah.
The game was in New York, and they were beating them like they stole something, man.
It was disrespectful, boy. It was.
You know when Stephen A is quiet, you know they got beat down.
Yeah, Stephen didn't even know how to come out and say that. He
Ain't nothing to say, man. 40-0. Ain't nothing to say. At home?
Stephen A was looking up like Rocky was looking up. When he looked up when he was holding on to hold on to your boy. He's like, nah, we can't.
But getting back, are they for real? The Cowboys? No, I don't think they're for real because again they have McCarthy. I do not trust Mike McCarthy, and now the fact he's calling plays along with coaching the team, I just think that he's going to be overwhelmed. He always seems to be overwhelmed by responsibility, and I just think again that I don't trust Dak Prescott either. They need one more. If they're going to get, they need one more back. They should have got Zeke, but Zeke didn't want. But because Zeke was good, but yeah, they need to get one more back that's going to help complement him, Pollard, and yeah, I think they'll be good. But yeah, the defensive sound, like you said, you got excellent defense. Quinn's top notch offense. CeeDee Lamb and Cooks there, and Gallup, and yeah, they got the line. Terrence Steele, the whole line. Zach Martin. They look like a great team, but I just don't trust McCarthy when it comes to it. If I see McCarthy across the field and I'm a coach, I feel confident I'm going to win if we're close. And that's what's going to happen in the playoffs because McCarthy just makes poor decisions, man.
We'll watch it. Another coach that everybody loves is Andy Reid. And they did sign their big defensive line.
1 year. 1 year. 1 year. Hold up for 1 year. 1 year.
It look like the money's right, but let's look at
incentives too. I don't know who his agent is, but he needs to change. If you look at this right now, Chris Jones, change your representation, bro. Because you got clown. Yeah. You don't hold out. You do like Joey Bosa. You don't do like, what you did, bro.
Yeah. I don't know.
Bro, you got.
I had to double take. I looked at there. Everybody's making like he signed. I was like, what? He signed a 1 year deal, and how much? It looked raggedy. But
it's raggedy.
He might have had some payments that was coming due. You know how it is. You start to owe everybody. You got that. Them bills start coming due because
something happened, man. He gave up. Something happened.
Something happened. They understood that pressure.
They could use him on Thursday.
Yeah, they could use him, but he can't catch no balls. That's what I wanted to say. He can't catch your boy that you want to hype up, Tony. Boy, and then he gonna go on social media and try to clown the Giants after his performance he had. I mean, he was dropping balls like he had. He was out there playing with. Most cats were trying to cheap some sticker. It was like he had oil, like he had oiled his body and forgot to take the oil off his hands to make the catches. I mean, some of the stuff he was catching when I was like, had he been drinking? Was he at the day ball party? He might have been at the party and then pulled in and forgot. I don't know what he was doing, and then he had the nerve. That's what I'm saying about these young folks, boy. No perspective. How you gonna be out here talking about somebody else after the game? You should have got off all your social media like you did. Stayed, been in your house. Shouldn't have gone out. Should have done Uber Eats. You should have done something like that. You should not be showing up because he can't get. None of them cats can catch the ball when it means anything. What did you see, Darnell? I mean, we look at the Kansas City. Whew. I mean, yeah, they didn't have a boy at tight end, but man, that cast. Maybe it's too early, but that cast don't look good.
Yeah, it is too early, and especially when you're going to add a guy like Travis Kelce in the mix.
Yeah,
I mean,
preach.
He's one of the biggest game changers out there. I mean, we talked about force multipliers a couple weeks ago, and Travis Kelce is one of them. So I think you're going to see a whole different Kansas City team when he's out there.
Yeah, but at some point, some other players got to make some plays. Some of these teams that they're going to be playing, they got some people for Kelce. And Kelce's had some games where he's got some really good defenders who they lock on him. He has some struggle. He's had a couple like that. And some of these guys have got to step up to make some plays. And I don't know how much confidence I have in some of those cats right now. I never have confidence in Tony, but, my man Hammer was up there trying to talk about him being the second coming or whatever it was. And then
he's a good player. His timing is this time. I mean, he was terrible. He admitted he's terrible, but I think his timing was even when Big Red says, I'm surprised by that, that's saying something. I think his timing was off. He was off the whole. I mean, I give example the Bears, no preseason, and they look like it. I mean, you got to play some football. You got to get in rhythm. You got to get
like a cat that drink that brown liquor. Something you got to stay away from that stuff. Take it out your diet. He
No,
he's up there
I
balling
mean, I
like
think
a guy who
my
the
thing
crowd.
he had injury, and that's the reason why. So, but yeah, the main thing I would say is that I think the Lions had fools go. They barely beat a team. They had their best defensive player out and their second best offensive player out and their best pass catcher. So, kudos to the Lions for winning, but let's see you next week. So that's the main thing. And I think if KC comes back against Trevor and Jacksonville, it's gonna be a real good game. If Jones is gonna be back in there, and then Kelsey's gonna be healthy.
All right, y'all. Well, let's give out some flowers. Let's give out some flowers. Who wants to go first? Darnell, you got anything in the kitchen? Who you want to
Yeah,
give
I'll
out?
go first. Man, I was watching some old school boxing over the weekend, and I got to give my flowers to one of the greatest trainers that a lot of people don't know about of all time. His name was Harry Wiley. Harry Wiley was a trainer back in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. He trained the likes of Sugar Ray Robinson, Henry Armstrong. He trained Harry Wells. He studied under Jack. Oh shoot, man, I forgot to do his last name. Starts with a D, but he trained with a guy named Jack D, who also was a trainer for Jack Dempsey. So that's where he got his start from. But yeah, he went on to train Muhammad Ali when when Muhammad Ali first came out back from his absence from his war war abstaining, what I'm saying, period. Because when he came back, he had to fight Jimmy Ellis, and Jimmy Ellis was in his stable, and Angelo Dundee trained um, Jimmy Ellis for that fight. So Harry Wiley ended up training Muhammad Ali and taught him a few different techniques that he carried with him for the rest of his career. He trained him for that fight and his next fight as well before he ended up passing away. But Harry Wiley, one of the more unsung trainers in history. We hear a lot about the Eddie Futches, the Angelo Dundee, the Ray Arcells, the Emmanuel Stewarts, the Freddie Roaches, but Harry Wiley's right up there because we talk about the greatest fighters of all time. Sugar Ray Robinson is up there. Harry Armstrong is up there. Muhammad Ali is up there. And this is a guy that was in all their ears. So if I'm going to drop the mic, I'm going to give my flowers to Mr. Harry Wiley.
All right. Wait, great. Hammer.
I'm gonna drop the mic for Ben Shelton and Coco Gauff. We need the one thing that we need to do is we as Black people we don't watch tennis as much, and we miss Serena, we miss Arthur Ashe's the world, miss James Blake's, but this young brother Shelton looks like he's gonna be a star in the making. Talented, telegetic, and went out semifinals, and then Coco Gauff really captivated America as well as the world with her tremendous tennis. Miss Serena, but I give shout out to them as far as again getting us to we call it the non big sports. The tennis, the golf in the world. We need to have more diversity of those as well as triumphs in those sports. And so it's great to see them at the top of their games and young people excelling in a sport that we're not known for. And I'm gonna drop the mic for them and their families because I know they supported them throughout the way while they're successful. Because tennis is not a cheap sport, and tennis is a difficult sport. And so, drop the mic for those two individuals as well as their families and their support systems that led them to where they were. It's a village, takes a village in to triumph. Drop the mic.
All right, thank you for doing that. I think I'm going to end it, and I wasn't going to do this person who dropped the mic, but I think it's such a part of our legacy of our show, whatever legacy we have, and how we try to share this out. But I do, I want to drop the mic for Jim Trotter, and the reason why I want to do that is that part of what we've always tried to do is continue to preach the importance of access and opportunity in sports. That's kind of been the intersection of the work that we've done here, and it comes a lot of times with sacrifice. Not easy work. as someone who's living in this space, who deals with it every day, you are often learning and pushing up against, forces that could feel overwhelming at points. So when you ever have someone who can step out and really push back, and especially a force like the NFL that is owning everything in television and drives dollars, to begin to push at that. And we always have to have those voices for doing that. And it doesn't come easily, but for somebody to stand up and do that, we want to know that the support, and that's been part of our show. You go back and look at our catalog. We're not afraid to talk about these issues and to push back on this stuff. And so when there's inequities, we have to raise that up and shine a light on it. So I want to drop it on you, Jim, and we might have to get you on RSG to share your side of the story at some point. But I really appreciated both of the flowers y'all had. I mean, both of those were excellent. And please check us out on Real Sports Guys on all platforms. And we look forward to catching y'all on the other side. Take it easy.